Peace. Freedom from disturbance, tranquility. That's what Jamaica needs now. And it can be achieved if we all work as one, with one mission, one strategy. You've tuned in to Jamaica Magazine, and for the next half hour, you'll hear about crime-fighting plans, like the Stay Alert app.
It has a panic system. It has a report system. It also has the laws.
Plus, it's Heritage Week. We'll look at the life of a slave, Baptist leader, and a freedom fighter wrapped in one package. I'm Adrian Atkinson. Stay tuned for all that and so much more.
When criminals disagree, they seek revenge. Murder, arson, rape, whatever causes terrible suffering. It doesn't matter who gets hurt. Women, children, and the elderly, they are the main targets. Don't support the criminals. Don't cover up for them. Don't take their money. Take a stand now for the right of our women and children to be free from fear and abuse. Silence brings violence.
A message from the Ministry of National Security.
If you're in possession of a smartphone, then you can help fight crime. The Ministry of National Security has launched the Stay Alert app. All you need to do is download it, and when you see something wrong happening at home or on the road, you snap and send. Next, answers on citizen participation in solving crime.
Thanks for joining us for Issues and Answers. I'm Ian Boyne. We want to talk about how you can make yourself safe. What are the things that you can do, and what are some of the things that the government is doing to promote security? We have with us today Superintendent Stephanie Lindsay. She is head of the Corporate Communications Unit of the Jamaica Constabulary Force. We thank you for your company. Good to have you on the program, Stephanie. This Stay Alert feature that is being promoted, this app for our phone, tell us how it works and the benefits of it.
Okay, well, I would start by saying that the Stay Alert app is a must-have. I think once you have an Android phone, you should really try to get it. This is an app that was developed in the Ministry of National Security in 2014 and has been around since. In recent times, we would have done some modification to the app to make it more user-friendly and more persons can access it very easily.
I see.
So it is called the Stay Alert app, and like any other application, you can just go to the Google Play Store and you click and you put in Stay Alert.
Free.
It's free.
Free.
Very free. All you need to have at that point is the internet, so you can download it. And once you download it on your phone, there are like 3 or 4 steps. What is good about this app is that it has 4 main features. It has a panic system, it has a report system, it also has the laws, and then the other system that it has an alert system. So what this allows you to do is to give every citizen the opportunity to participate in their own safety and security.
So it's dependent on one's having data service and all that kind of thing at the time of making the report?
No, the good part of it is that the only time you probably need some kind of data service is at the point of download. The app you don't have to have credit on your phone, you don't have to have data service on your phone. All you need to have is a smartphone, an Android smartphone. And
a person breaking into the house, it doesn't matter that, boy, unfortunately, you didn't have any credit at that time. You can still use it.
And you can take a picture of this person breaking into the house. You can video the person breaking into the house. You can send a voice note with screaming, and you just send that off. And it goes to the server, and what it does, it triggers an alert at 119.
Well, you can also touch the panic
yes.
mode and not say anything because perhaps one cannot speak.
And that's why sometimes you're in a situation and you can't speak, but you have your phone.
Yes.
So you can press the panic button and just leave it at that. What will happen is that when the signal gets to 119, and they usually respond very quickly, what you need now to ensure that your GPS on your phone is on.
Okay.
Because it works with the GPS system.
Okay, so you know where to come.
No, right. So it works like any other panic system with the GPS. So when you press that now, the police will probably call back the number. If they call back the number and they don't get a response, then what they will do is that they will send you support. So like people who watch television and they see how 911 operates, where you call, they call back, you don't get a response, they send the police. That's how this operates. So it's an added feature. So you press the panic button. If you can speak and the police call you back, you're able to relate to them exactly what is happening. So for the panic system, one of the things that we caution that you don't press the panic button unless you have a real emergency.
Okay.
So you don't want to give it to the children so that they play with it. The reason why the police call back, because you could accidentally trigger this feature. So you want to have that. We use it to support any initiative. So if you're out there as a citizen and you witness something that you believe that you see something and you want to say something, we ask you to use the report feature. And this you can use by, just like how you use WhatsApp. You see how people like to do the things on WhatsApp and share?
Yes.
The only difference with the WhatsApp is that it is not shared with everybody. It is shared at a secure location and only the police will have access to the information. And then not every police, it works with the 811 system that we have. So you know that is a secure system that is not answered by the regular police. It's very secured. So, and a part of it is answered offshore. So it is supported by that 811 system. So when you send your report, so if you send a text message, it goes there and somebody will act on it. If you have information that they are wanted persons, they are missing children, anything that is happening in your community that you believe you should bring to the attention of the authority. Because even though it is the Stay Alert app, it's not only crime. So you might find that you might be living next door to a home that they are abusing children.
That's right.
You want to get it to the authority. If you send it, then we will notify the CDA. We will notify the child advocate. So any matter that you believe you want to bring, the Stay Alert app is one that you can really use to get that message out.
Yes. And for those who might have certain concerns and caution about the police, does he have to give his number when one registers for the app, when one downloads the app? Is it required that he gives his number?
Okay, it is a requirement, but it's not compulsory. And I tell you what, if you don't, when you're at the setup stage, when you're setting up and you're downloading it, it will give you an option to enter your profile.
Okay.
And it can ask you for your name, it will ask you for a number.
But that's only an option. One doesn't have to use that option.
So you don't have to use that option at all. So if you just want to remain anonymous,
you
don't want to give your name, then you can bypass that option. The only thing with that, when you and you can choose not to put your name, you can just put a number. You can just put a number, so the number will not bring up a name.
What if one doesn't want to put a number?
If you don't want to,
the police might give it to gunman.
If you want to remain totally anonymous, then you bypass that option. Okay. The only disadvantage of bypassing that option is that you will not be able to use the panic system, because the panic system is connected to the telephone number and the GPS on the phone. But you use all the other features.
You can use alert.
You send your message, you do your reporting, you will get your instant alert as they happen. So all those things are things that, so you do have the option that if you really just want to provide
information, yes.
Don't put your number. Yes. And if you put it and you want to go back, you can go back and edit it and take it out. Okay. If you started without the number and you believe there comes a time when you want to add your number, you can go back in and do that. So you do have that option. And we saw some...
Take a break at this point. Yes. Stephanie Lindsay is the head of corporate communications at the JCF, and we're talking about the Stay Alert app, a very important app that could save your life, that certainly promotes security. We're going to talk about, continue our discussion on that as well as other security-related matters. Take a break, but we'll be right back.
Si Marcia husband, him a one of the biggest juggies.
Wait. Somebody a scream.
Lord, them a bundle price to work and never pay the extortion money.
Who them man there?
And what them a do with Jackie little daughter?
It's serious times. Speak up for justice and keep your eyes open. When you hear about any crime, report it. Silence brings violence.
A message from the Ministry of National Security.
Welcome back. The head of the Corporate Communications Unit of the Jamaica Constabulary Force, Stephanie Lindsay, is our guest. We have been talking about the Stay Alert app, an important app that you should get. And I think you were about to make a point at the break about the app. We had talked about the option that one has of not entering his number when he's downloading the app, so that there shouldn't be any reason for anyone not to have the app, because if one just wants to be anonymous, certainly the feature allows for that.
Yes, it does. And right, so and one of the things I want to say to persons that want to access this app is not just about crime. Yeah. You could have a relative at home probably experiencing a stroke, heart attack, and they press this panic system. Yes. Help will come, otherwise probably they wouldn't. Just recently we had the hurricane, and throughout the system, well, we were expecting, and we were uploading instantly all the bulletins that we were getting. Yes. Every time we get something coming in from across the island that something is happening, so a road may be flooded, an area becomes impassable, we were able to update persons. So once you have the app, you get an alert on your phone. When we had the situation recently when Marcus Garvey was flooded for the first time, yes, persons who had the Stay Alert app did not have to sit in traffic for 3 hours. Because once we got the information that the water was rising, we were sending the information to persons. You need to avoid Marcus Garvey Drive, there's something happening there. So persons who never had it, they went there, they got stuck in their cars, they got flooded out. So it is another way of, it's about safety and security, it's about keeping you informed, it's about allowing the average person to participate in a process. Because we're at a junction now where the police, the military, and the few can't do it alone. We need the widest cross-section of Jamaicans to play a part. And playing a part is just to say something if you see something or do something. We understand the implications of doing. So we make the doing very easy by giving you an application that you can just send a message, send a text, send a picture, send a video, and we will do the rest. So you don't have to put yourselves at any additional danger or risk to support a process, but it's something that we really, really need people to take up. I was very pleased when we did an assessment on the weekend, and after the storm, over 5,000 persons access the system and utilize the system during this, because we were promoting it, and the persons who manages it, they were also sending out alerts as well. So it became a very useful tool. And
more people are downloading the app.
More people are downloading the system. Yes, they are. Because up to maybe about 2 months or so ago, we had probably just about 2,000 something users. Now we have over 18,000, not to include those who came on in the last 2 weeks. So we're seeing where persons are taking it up, because I realized that one of the reasons persons were not aware that we have this tool. Yes. We have this tool, and we need to really, really use it.
But the government has been pushing it, the Ministry of National Security.
I know that the minister, every speak he speaks about it.
Mr. Montego
the security, the app, and we have some persons who are also going out there, or police officers, when they engage the communities at the community levels. We go to Parent Teachers Association and we do the demonstrations, and we explain to them why it is so important to have this application. I mean, you can have it on your phone and never have a need to use it, but don't be in a situation where if I had it.
Yes.
And it cuts out costs, because if you were supposed to subscribe to the provider of a panic system, you would have to pay good money for that monthly.
Right. So this is an important facility that the government
has facilitated for the citizens.
Before we close, the Get the Guns campaign, which the Commissioner has revved up recently.
Right. Yes, because we had the Get the Gun campaign. We launched it last year. We did a review, and it was successful. We seized over more than 200 guns when compared to the previous period, and a number of rounds of ammunition. So it became very apparent that it's something that we really need to continue with. So the commissioner, a few days ago, we relaunched the Get the Guns campaign. We recognized that over 90% of the crimes that are being committed, the serious crimes, are being committed by guns. So the shooting and the murders, most of the murders, the average on the island, 80% of the murders are committed by guns. In St. James, which is one of the focus parish, over 90% of the murders are by guns. And when we look at what we have seized during the campaign, we believe that's just a drop in the bucket compared to the number of guns that are still out there. We are seeing now where persons usually protect individuals with guns because maybe they are family members, they are close associates. Sometimes they were of the view that if a person in your community has a gun, then it makes the community safer. But we are seeing now where that is not the case. A criminal with a gun really has no loyalty to any individual. So I think they are turning the guns on relatives, they are turning the guns on community members. We are seeing where, although the guns are the weapons of choice, in these cases, the reason for the incident is a simple domestic dispute. So we recognize that if we can remove these guns from these persons, they would not resort to the guns so easily. They would have probably found a way to argue, quarrel, and make up. But the fact that they have guns, so
easy accessibility.
We want the community to really help us.
And you find that people are reporting now?
People are reporting. I mean, in the first 5 days of relaunching the Get the Guns campaign, we seized 15 guns, to include 4 high-powered weapons, most of which were seized in St. James. But people are now realizing that they can no longer shield these persons. We don't want persons to put themselves at risk. We want them to call the police. We want them to call 119. If they have an issue with trust, you don't have to say who you are. Persons can always use the 811, and of course now you have the Stay Alert app. So you might see a gun somewhere, you take a picture and send it off. Send some information. Nobody will know that you do it. Another cool thing about the Stay Alert app, we hear from time to time horror stories that there are times when gunmen will go to communities and take away people's cell phone. And to search their cell phones to see if they have been talking to persons. Now, the cool thing about the Stay Alert app is that if you send a text message or you send a video, it leaves no record on your phone. So once you press that send button, they can't trace it. So if they take your phone, they can't tell that you send it. So unlike the app, the WhatsApp, you will have to find time to delete. Once you press and send, there's no trace on your phone.
You have made a case for the Stay Alert app. You have to get the Stay Alert app. I mean, there's so many advantages to your having it. Stay tuned to us here on Issues and Answers. We give you all the critical, user-friendly information. Stephanie Lindsay, head of Corporate Communications Unit of the Jamaica Constabulary Force, has been our guest this week. Next week I'll be back. Until then, Ian Bourne wishing you a pleasant day.
On our roads, remember, take time, be courteous, drive good, walk good. Part of keeping our roads safe is ensuring the vehicles we drive are mechanically safe, meeting all roadworthy requirements. And besides that, we must be good drivers and avoid risk-taking and sensation-seeking behaviors which are prone to causing road crashes.
Creativity is key when nurturing young minds. Capoeira, an Afro-Brazilian art form, was recently taught to a group of at-risk youth as a technique in channeling their energies. Learn more in the upcoming feature.
Through an alliance of partners, Government Citizen Security and Justice Program CSJP is empowering at-risk young people aged 7 to 29 to resist crime and violence. And the intervention is modeled on a Brazilian program called Fight for Peace.
Fight for Peace is an NGO that uses boxing and martial arts as well as a holistic set of services for young people to help get young people that are living in violent communities out of crime and violence and into more positive life outcomes.
In this local version, dubbed Kick Out Crime and Violence, youth in 6 inner-city communities are engaged in personal development based on 5 pillars: boxing, martial arts, education, employability, youth support services, and youth leadership. Support to carry out the program has been boosted by a recent $20.7 million grant from the United Kingdom Department for International Development, DFID. It's allowing CSJP and its partners to implement the project in the communities of Hannahtown, Denhamtown, Trenchtown, Fletcher's Land, Parade Gardens, and Tivoli Gardens in Kingston. Throughout the week, youngsters in these communities are exposed to boxing, wrestling, and taekwondo classes, which are not just fun, but are also instilling discipline, self-esteem, confidence, and the strength to resist negativity, regardless of the circumstances.
It also teaches them to control their physical aggression and to use that aggression smartly, because the thing about these sports is that it's not necessarily the strongest person who wins, it's the person who has the most control over his or her physical strength. And so that has been proven to be a really effective bridge in teaching them about self-control in general. If you learn to control yourself in the sport, it's easier for you to learn how to control yourself in life.
Tell me guys, how would you define communication? So what is the interaction between 2 or more persons? Interacting anyway, we don't even have to use words. We don't have to use sign language or have meaning to words. Body language, gesture, gesticulation, and all those things, right? Or the act and the process of using words, sound, sign, or behavior to express or exchange information.
This social intervention program, which started in May 2016, is being jointly delivered in Jamaica using a network of social development partners already involved with youth development, including the Social Development Commission. Other partners are the Peace Management Initiative, Jamaica Defence Force, Jamaica Boxing Board of Control, Capoeira Alafia, Rise Life Management, Youth, Fletcher's Land Benevolent Society, Joytown, Boys Town, and Bread's Treasure Beach Foundation.
Well, working with the partners that are a part of the Fight for Peace network, we asked them to refer young people to us who they were already relating to in some way. So either it was a young person that was in one of their programs, but they don't think that the program was working as effectively for that young person, or somebody who had just dropped out of their program, or somebody that was kind of on their radar to come into another program.
The various groups meet at the JDF Up Park camp on Saturdays for the training session.
This is an opportunity, not just for us at the ministry, to really hold hands with you, Fight for Peace and DFID, as we engage our youth and empower our youth to become the ambassadors and the messengers in their communities.
I think Fight for Peace International and its partners in mixing sport, skill development and mentoring have had great success in the UK, Brazil, and also emerging in Jamaica to improve the lives of at-risk youth. We firmly believe that an effective government-led public health intervention targeting at-risk youth in the communities suffering most from the scourge of violence can really help improve community security in Jamaica.
Strike at any time. In the event of one, be prepared to act quickly. If a hurricane watch or warning has been issued, review your home disaster response plan. Map out likely routes to evacuate if your home is at risk and confirm with relatives or friends you plan to stay with. Also, confirm the location of the nearest shelter. Check your emergency supplies and restock if necessary. Remember, disasters do happen, so be prepared.
The Great Jamaican Slave Revolt of 1831 to 32 was an 11-day rebellion that mobilized as many as over 50,000 slaves. It was led by Black Baptist preacher Samuel Sharpe. Hear now about the man and his work.
Samuel Sharpe was the main instigator of the 1831 slave rebellion that began on the Kensington estate in St. James, which was largely instrumental in bringing about the abolition of slavery. Because of his intelligence and leadership qualities, Sam Sharpe became a daddy, or a leader of the native Baptists in Montego Bay. He used religious meetings as a way of organizing activities for the slaves, and there he was able to communicate his concern and encourage political thought concerning events in England which affected the slaves and Jamaica. Daddy Sharpe believed in passive resistance, and in 1831 he encouraged many slaves to refuse to work on Christmas Day, demanding better treatment and that slave owners consider their freedom. News of the plan spread to his supporters throughout St. James, Trelawney, Westmoreland, and even St. Elizabeth and Manchester. It reached the ears of some of the planters who got England to send warships that docked in Montego Bay and Manchester. On December 27, 1831, the Kensington Estate Great House was set on fire, a signal that the slave rebellion had begun. A terrible retribution followed, and while 14 whites died during the rebellion, more than 500 slaves lost their lives. Samuel Sharpe was hanged on May 23, 1832, 2 years before the abolition bill was passed by the British Parliament and 6 years before slaves in Jamaica gained full freedom.
The Ministry of Health is reminding the public, especially parents of small children, to pay particular attention to their children for signs of gastroenteritis. It is a condition that causes irritation and inflammation of the stomach and intestines. The symptoms of gastroenteritis include one or more of the following: diarrhea, vomiting, nausea, and belly pain. The affected person may also have headache, fever, and abdominal cramps. In general, the symptoms begin 1 to 2 days following infection with the virus that causes gastroenteritis and may last for 1 to 10 days, depending on which virus causes the illness. Medication should not be used to stop the diarrhea or vomiting. However, oral rehydration fluid should be used to replace liquid lost as a result of vomiting and/or diarrhea. Gastroenteritis can cause death, especially in young children less than 5 years old. If at any time you think your child is not improving, you should take him or her to the nearest emergency room. Let's protect our loved ones, especially during this time of increased rainfall, which may cause an increase in the cases of gastroenteritis. Want to have some success in your life? Listen to this. Success is simple. Do what's right, the right way, at the right time. Head over to our website at jis.gov.jm. It's your source for more information on crime, education, and other matters of interest. To watch this program again, click on our YouTube channel. You may also check out our other social media platforms. I am Adrian Atkinson. Please be careful.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.